Hello, folks. It's 8 o'clock, and here we go. Time for another round of So Here We Are, right? So, Tiffany, we're going to put you on the spot big time.
Okay. Take a deep breath. I'm ready.
Notice her hesitation, like, what have I just been set up for? So, before we get started, we just go through our little thank yous and get the show set up. So we thank you all for watching, for listening, for supporting us, and giving us a reason to continue, because sometimes the things that go on around us give us ideas for the show, right?
Yeah. Most
of the time it's the things that go on in our life, right?
Yep.
We're going to be a little transparent today because we didn't have a good morning. So tonight's episode, we're going to talk about marriage. Is marriage perfect? And if you read in the link and in the description of the show and everything, we ask, is marriage perfect? And I think a lot of times people set themselves up for failure because they believe in this fairy tale and they believe in an idea of perfection. But perfect for you is not necessarily perfect for everybody else, right? And I think that's what we do. We look at all this social media, we look at all these things around us, these outside influences, and we think, oh man, we got to be like that. We got to be like this and that, right? And so we go down this path of a setup to failure.
Yeah.
You agree?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we'll get started here. So tonight, when we talk about this, we're going to let you in on how our morning started and how our day kind of went. But it was rough. It was packed full, right?
Yeah.
And like nobody wanted to do anything this morning.
It's
right?
Typical Sunday morning. Like this Sunday morning was really no different than the last 9,000.
But nobody wanted to get up. Nobody really wanted to do anything.
It's something about sleep on Sunday morning. I think it's like Satan trying to tempt you or something, but I can never sleep past 7:30 at the latest unless it's Sunday morning, and then I could probably just sleep all day.
Take that back.
Okay, yesterday I laid in bed till 8.
Keep going, because there's in the last 3 or 4 weeks, I haven't even called you in the morning because every time I'm at work and I call you,
it was only once
before 8 o'clock, you're still in the bed.
No, it was only once.
I'll go through my call log.
That you called me and I only slept past 8. It was accident. I was like still on Las Vegas time, I guess. I don't know. I don't set an alarm. My internal alarm normally wakes me, but that day it failed. So
we've got a different schedule now because our kids are they're still homeschooled, but they go through Gateway. So every week they have to go and they have to be in person and do testing. Now, before, when we went through Rebecca Academy, most of the testing was done by Tiffany, and then she just had to send in the test and send in the grades, and then they would send a report card. Well, now, and also the reading, they would have to call a number, and they would have to read certain sections in their books so that they could be graded on their reading. But now they have to go into class or into the school and give their work and then get their tests and stuff like that, right? So the kids are in a little bit of a different routine now. Mm-hmm. So that has messed up the mornings, and they feel like they don't have as much work as they did before. So they've just kind of been in this sleep mode all day, right? Which, when the routine changes a lot of things in our relationships, because when our routine is off, everything else kind of falls apart or is affected anyway, right?
Yes.
So
maybe that's Sunday's problem.
Right, because we go 6 days a week and it's just boom, 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 hammer it out, go, go, go. Everything is busy, everything is crazy, and we don't stop for 18 hours. If it's 18, most of the time it's 20.
Yeah, but then on Sunday, we know we don't have to do anything before 11 a.m. Church starts at 11. Technically, we're supposed to be there at 10, but...
we push it.
We push it real hard.
And most of the time we're there right at 10. And then there's mornings where we don't get there till 10:15, 10:20.
And then you have this morning.
This morning,
10:45.
yeah, 10:45. And I was kind of thinking, man, are we ever going to make it to church? But I was struggling. Like I said, we're going to be transparent in this episode. Like we pretty much always are. But this morning, I was struggling because worship was on me, the sermon was on me, and nothing was coming together. So normally I have everything worked out and my sermon is ready to go. And most of the time I'm just finishing up, just getting it in order, getting the flow of things so that I don't go off on these rabbit trails and tangents, and just to put it into a good outline. And last night, nothing would come together. Everything that I'd been studying all week just kind of went.
And I feel like your whole week kind of went like that. Like you're so busy all week. So we had to pick Jacob from work at 10 last night. And Bobby sat down on the couch at like 9 and said, I'm going to have about a 15-minute nap. Just wake me up when it's time to go get Jacob. Yeah. And I kid you not, when Jacob texted, he was like mouth breathing and everything. So I just slipped right out and went.
I was doing mechanic work, y'all. I had to put a rear end in a recliner.
You were doing it real hard, too.
And so I heard the door open. And I was like, oh, well, maybe she's going out to get something out of the vehicle or something. And it was her coming back in. And I was just like, what in the world is going on? Look at my watch. And I'm thinking, hey, why didn't you wake me up?
No, that wasn't even when I came in. I sat in the bathtub for 30 minutes.
Oh.
Before. He was like,
I must have like blinked my eyes and been out again.
It was almost 11 because you were like, hey, why didn't you wake me up? Well, you were mouth breathing, dude. If somebody's mouth breathing and like drooling on themselves, that's good sleep. You don't bother them.
I don't get that good of sleep very often.
No.
But like it was rough. It was just so busy all week long, meeting with clients and helping some folks get their stuff sorted out and really just moving through some things. So the forklift world was crazy. We were pushing for the end of the month, and then we've got 3 days left for the end of the month. So actually 2 days of billing, Monday and Tuesday, are going to be crazy stupid. And then having to preach, having to do worship because the worship leader was out, but it worked out good. The worship this morning, we went back old school, did some songs that we haven't done in a long time, and it brought back a lot of memories. The sermon went really well. I feel like it went really well. Nobody told me it didn't.
What I heard of it went great. The two littles would not be still today.
So, for those of you moms out there sitting in church service, you know what's going on. When you got two littles crawling and climbing all over you, then it's hard to pay attention.
And then we sit on the very front because my ADD kicks in. If anybody sits in front of me, then ADD kicks in, and all I can focus on is every little move everybody makes. So then I feel like my kids are even more. So by the end of it, Josh had on a shirt like this. And I just like grabbed him by the back and picked him up and took him out. Sorry, I didn't touch your shirt. Anyways, it was just one of those. It started out. Anyway, so how it started was you were in a bad mood.
I wasn't necessarily in a bad mood.
We were both in a bad mood.
I was agitated because I just couldn't make sense of anything. And I was like, man, everything that I studied, I had everything locked in. And then just all of a sudden it made no sense whatsoever. And I'm like, this is not right. This is not what I'm supposed to be preaching on. And then I had to figure out where in the world I was supposed to be. And I'm praying. And most of the time, if I'm in that kind of prayer mode and I'm needing to get some things hashed out, I can't go through my normal routine. I can't go through my normal day and just be functioning and still praying that hard. I can't devote that kind of time. My mind has to really
most
focus.
of the time I let it slide. But this morning my deal was, first of all, we laid in bed till 9 o'clock. So we have an hour for 6 people to get ready in one tiny bathroom.
Right.
Nothing was ironed because no matter how many times I said, hey, I need your clothes, babe. I need to know what you're wearing tomorrow.
I had all intentions of getting them out.
It
last
still
night.
didn't happen. So, and I had to shower. Normally I do that on Saturday nights.
You gotta
Did not.
remember, my routine changed because I passed out on the couch.
It's true. But anyway, so I had everybody's clothes to iron. I had to shower. I had to wash my hair, all that stuff. And then normally on Sundays is the only day I look forward to getting everybody ready because I actually have your help. Like the routine is you make the coffee, you fix our cups, and then you help with the little boys getting dressed.
And this morning, she was in the way, and I took a deep breath, and she snapped, and I said, you know what? Fix your own dang coffee. I'm done. So, like, you ever have those moments where you're just like, ugh, you're just getting on my dang nerves.
Yes.
And you just want to tell your spouse, or if you're not married, but you're in a long-term committed relationship, and that partner, that significant other is just like all on your nerves, and you're like, ugh, just get away from me, leave me alone, right?
I think that would work for both of us, both ways this morning.
Yes.
You were equally on my nerves.
I
I didn't even want to look at you this morning. I just wanted you to fix my coffee. I can't function if I don't have coffee.
I'm 2 snaps and a twist, 3 snaps and a twist. No, fix your own
I
dang
had
coffee.
already brewed the coffee. All you had to do was pour it in the cups.
And I had to mix it. Your protein powder, your cachava. It's not just coffee. Poured a little bit of milk in there, and then I went in to mix it, and you were plugging up the hair dryer, and I was like, you know what? I'm not standing in the way and listen to. You got to hurry up because I'm getting hot in here. So none of you have ever been there before. I'm absolutely sure of it, right? So like, just get away from me. And then what, like an hour later, sometimes it's 15 minutes, sometimes an hour, sometimes just later in the afternoon, like, babe, are you mad at me? Right?
Go away. I was never mad at you. Like I rarely ever actually get mad at you. Just you get on my nerves.
Okay, so here's the line of being mad, and here's the line of being aggravated and agitated with me, and it's very close. Only God can cut a finer line.
Right. There is a difference, though. There is a difference.
It is not much, folks. Like, we're splitting hairs here.
There's a difference.
We didn't cross the line into being mad. We were right there.
It wasn't one of those Sundays where, yeah, we needed to be in church, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
But
By
it
the
wasn't,
time we got there, we needed prayer.
Yes, but it wasn't. It has been so bad on a Sunday morning, not recently. But in the past that I've taught him on the way to church, there's no way I can sit and listen to you preach to me after you treat me like this before church. So I would just go take the kids to the nursery. Like, you're not going to preach at me after you talk to me like that. Oh, jeez.
That's funny. That's funny. So we also have this situation where it doesn't happen with us often, but I do know that those of you out there there's comedians that have made millions off this conversation. What's wrong? What's wrong with you?
But,
Nothing. Right? That's obviously something.
Yeah. But normally, I don't just say nothing's wrong with me unless there really is nothing wrong with me. Like if I'm just in a bad mood because I want to be in a bad mood and take it out on you, then I'll say nothing because there's nothing wrong with me as far as you're concerned.
So
I'm just a grouch and I don't want to talk to you.
So what I should really be asking is, hey, how am I aggravating you? How am I on your nerves?
You're just present. Your presence is
Your presence is annoying me. Get away. So being married for 19 years, almost 19 years, being together for 19 years, we obviously know when something's wrong. We obviously both feel it. But there's that that place that we've come to in our relationship that we can sit like this and we can laugh about it. And we can have good conversation that we're not just like, you know what, fine, I'm going to sleep on the couch. Or you know what, I'm going to my mama's house. Right?
No.
That ain't happening.
No. That's not acceptable.
Like, when we first got married, within the first couple years, man, I would have a temper. I would punch walls. I would get angry. And I had a real problem with my temper. and I never hit her or anything like that. But I would just get so aggravated that I would just want to walk away, and she would not let it happen. Like, no, you're not. We're not finished with this conversation. You're not just going to walk away mad, right?
Yeah.
There were times that I went out to my truck and I just wanted to go drive around and think and be by myself because there was no place to do that in the house where she wasn't going to follow. But she was going to climb in the truck and go with me. I'm like, babe, I need to be alone. She's like, nope, wherever you go, I'm going. You got no reason to leave. Or I try to go to the couch. I'm like, you know what? Forget this. I'm going to the couch. Get up out of bed, grab my pillow, and go to the couch. Guess what? She's in tow. Right on through with her pillow. Like, move over because we both going to sleep on this couch. And I'm like, you know what? We'll just go back to bed because neither one of us are going to sleep if we're both on this couch.
Right.
Yeah.
I just don't do well with. I don't like to be mad at people. I don't like people to be mad at me. So.
Right.
Especially you. I mean, you're my husband. You're my very best friend, Bobo.
Aww.
So you can't. I don't like for you to be mad at me.
But and that's the situation that we've learned to really just be honest and really have good communication. Is that there's no reason. Even the Bible says not to let the sun go down on your anger. Right? If you're angry, think about all the things that can happen. Think about if you're angry, do you really sleep well at night? Do you really, like, you toss and turn because there's something wrong? Not just something wrong in your mind, but deep down in your spirit, there's something wrong because you know you should repent. You know you should apologize. You know you just need to suck it up, drop your pride, and fix the situation, right?
Yep.
So we also learn that your tone is everything. In the response to any question, like a text message just doesn't do it. An email doesn't do it because you can't make the font big enough in your anger, right? You can't make something nice. You can't paint a nicer, prettier picture of, hey, I'm calm. Everything is okay. I just want to apologize, because when the other person is angry at you, no matter what you say and how you say it through text or through email, without the sound of your voice or your presence, it's going to be received wrong, right? So the whole thing is we were never intended to communicate only through video and media, right? Or text message and emails, things like that, because our brain can't really process the way somebody's coming across, and we need to know that there is a true repentance, a true forgiveness, a true heartfelt situation.
Yeah.
And we need to hear the tone of that person's voice. That you can't get it. There's no emoji that we can put in front or at the end of our explanation to describe how we're really feeling, and the tone of your voice just does it all. There's no replacement, right? But in anger, the tone of your voice, and you can tell somebody, I'm not mad, but the way you respond, the way you say it, is all perceived as being abrasive, right? But we can have that calming tone and that not that fluffy, airy, sometimes aggravating stuff you get from the people on the radio, or somebody that's just seems to have it all worked out and perfect, and they're like, hey, we're here today to work out these situations. Like, I hate that airy sound, right?
That's annoying.
And I cannot accept that when somebody's going to try to apologize to me in that tone. Be like, you know what? Just talk to me normal. Don't give me that preschooler tone. Right.
That's also, though, like your tone specifically is why
what?
That's why your kids think you're intimidating.
Right. But now, my intentions are never to make them feel like they can't approach me or can't talk to me, but for some reason, they always just think that I'm the worst ever.
Because you just get that aggravated tone very easily.
Because I want them to get to the point. Because they stammer
You
and
want
stutter.
them to get to the point. Have you ever heard yourself have a conversation?
But they'll look down at the floor and they'll be like, Dad, Mom said it's okay.
Because they're nervous.
But we were told that to ask you, and I'm like, okay, come on, get on with it. Hey, just keep my notebook, babe. But I'm like, okay, get on with it. What are you trying to ask me? The worst that I can say is no, right? If they want to ask something, they know the worst that I'm going to say is no. But I'm going to ask them a question. Why? Why do you want to do this? Who's involved? I'm going to play detective because I want to know who they're going to be with, where they're going to go, and I want to know the details. But then they're just like, well, all we had to do is just ask Mom if we could go, and she said, ask you. Right? Like, okay, well, because Mom knows that I'm going to ask the questions. I'm going to ask, who are you going to go with? Who's going to be there? Who is expected to show up? What adults are going to be there, right? And I want those details. Or no, you can't go, right?
Yeah.
So it is tone, but in the whole process of that, it is me trying to figure out what's going on, and I don't got any time for lies and bullcrap.
Right, but I feel like also we're getting off subject, so far off subject. But your tone, you could just do it differently. Like, okay, well, who all's gonna be there? How long are you gonna be there? Use a different tone. Don't seem so intimidating.
That's the mama tone.
I need you to use the mama tone, okay?
Okay.
Lord
All right.
Jesus.
So what do you got for us to wrap this up?
I don't have anything for us to wrap this up.
What? I intended to put you on the spot.
Okay, this is what I'm gonna say to wrap this up. Obviously, relationships are not perfect, and surprisingly, ours is not.
It's
And
not surprising. We tell them that all the time.
facts. Probably 5 Sundays out of 10, we really need to be at church by the time we get there.
Yeah.
Mainly because he won't give me his clothes to iron the night before.
I'm working on it.
It's not your fault. I don't get out of bed anyways.
So anyway, thank y'all for watching. We greatly appreciate y'all being here and listening to us ramble sometimes. We just want you to understand that if you think that relationships are supposed to be perfect, you've set yourself up for failure. But obviously your relationship, if you're working on it and you're intentional about making it work, making sure the communication is always open, then you're striving and working towards perfection in your relationship, not what everybody else would perceive or what anybody else's idea would be. So make it perfect for you.
And
Make
like
it
we
work
always
for you.
say, communication is key.
Yep. And we had that discussion with some folks in the last few days about relationships, and the main thing they've said is we've been married before, and we never cheated. There was never any infidelity, but the communication was not there. The affections seemed to fade because they just weren't working on it.
Right.
They didn't intend to be each other's forever.
Anyway, so we're going too long. If you have any ideas, please, for the love of Pete, somebody send us an email. Gosh.
All right, let me see if I can find the email. I'll flash it up here real quick. Look, there
Write
it is.
it down. Email us. Give us ideas on what you want to hear us ramble about, and we'll gladly do it. And our next giveaway, I promise y'all, we really are working on it.
Yep. And so we haven't forgotten about that. It's just hard to work out the details and get everything funded, because if we're going to do a giveaway, we want to make it to where it benefits you, so that, yeah, you might have to come out of pocket for a babysitter. You might have to pay for the gas to get there, but we want it to be an evening to benefit you guys. We don't want you to have to worry about where it is and how much it's going to cost when you get there.
Right.
Because we know that if we do a giveaway, we want to make sure that nobody has to worry about that. So we are working on it. It's coming. We just have to work it out.
Surprisingly hard to find sponsors for such a great show with all the tens of followers. Yeah, like, but we get it. I promise. We got you. We're coming with that giveaway soon.
All right. So, folks, thanks for watching. We hope you have a fantastic week. If you got anything, email us. If you need some prayer, just need to vent about something, send it to the email. Contact us directly, and we will not share your personal information. We promise you that. But we'd love to pray for you. Love to help you in any way possible. We can connect you with any kind of counseling if you would like that. If your marriage is struggling, if you have some issues that need attention, just let us know how we can help, and we will find the help for you. We will make sure that we'll do whatever we can to take care of you. So here we are, and that's all we have. So y'all have a great night and a blessed week. Thank you.